You save exactly 50% of your income starting the day you graduate at 22, you can permanently walk away from the workforce at age 35. You buy back the absolute best years of your life. It is 50 unbroken years of pure freedom paid for in advance. But nobody talks about the invisible tax of those 13 years in the middle. The math of early retirement is elegantly simple. Surviving the psychology of it, however, is where the nightmare truly begins. To buy your freedom at 35, you have to financially ghost your own youth. Let's set the rules for this experiment. You are 22, fresh out of college, and land a job in the United States making $55,000 a year. After taxes, you take home roughly $3,800 a month. For a beginner transitioning off student pocket money, it feels like real wealth. But you've made the ultimate vow. 50% vanishes the second it hits your checking account, funneled into a stock market index fund. That leaves insurance and breathing. You rent a tiny room in a cramped apartment with 3 roommates. You meal prep cheap chicken and rice every Sunday until the smell makes your eyes water. Your daily transportation is a beat-up 2009 Honda Civic with a suspicious rattle. By year 3, you are 25. You've saved $60,000, and the market has quietly pushed that total to $70,000. But that is the easy part. Right around age 26, the gamification wears off and the crippling isolation begins. Your friends are starting to make real money. They move into nice one-bedroom places and take spontaneous weekend flights to Miami. They finance shiny new cars that don't rattle. Meanwhile, you are now making $70,000 a year, but because of the ironclad 50% rule, you are still forcing yourself to live on $35,000. You have become a complete ghost in the American consumer machine. When the group chat lights up and says they should split a house in Tulum for a weekend, you immediately say you have other plans. You are missing out on the spontaneous, unbudgeted friction of being in your 20s. By age 29, the gap isn't just financial anymore. It is deeply social and intensely personal. Your friends simply stop inviting you to things because they already know the answer is going to be no. You are wealthy on paper, commanding a net worth most people your age couldn't dream of, but you are functionally living your day-to-day life near the poverty line. But you hold on with a white-knuckle grip. You are rapidly approaching the crossover point. Welcome to year 8. You are 30 years old. You've shoved over $200,000 of your own blood, sweat, and ignored social invitations into the market. Thanks to relentless compounding, your portfolio just crossed $350,000. This is where the math starts to get eerie, because this year your investments will generate about $30,000 in pure growth without you lifting a single finger. From here, the numbers get ridiculously fast. By age 33, you cross $500,000. Your high-earning friends who upgraded their lifestyles are secretly drowning in debt payments. If they miss 2 paychecks, they lose their houses. You could lose your job tomorrow and survive for an entire decade. The finish line is finally in sight. You grind out the last 2 agonizing years. The screen reads $750,000. You walk into your manager's office, hand in your 2 weeks' notice, and walk out of the building on a random Tuesday afternoon. You are 35 years old and you never have to work another day in your life. Until you wake up on Wednesday morning and realize the suffocating trap you just locked yourself inside. Here is the massive, fatal flaw of the extreme early retirement dream. It is called the 4% rule. To make your money last without running out, you can only safely withdraw exactly 4% of your portfolio every year. 4% of your $750,000 nest egg is exactly $30,000 a year. You didn't buy a rich, luxurious life of endless vacations, you just permanently locked in your impoverished lifestyle. You spent 13 years living like a broke college student so you could retire early and continue living exactly like a broke college student for the next half-century. Your budget is still permanently frozen in place. And remember that 2009 Honda Civic with the steering rattle? At age 37, the transmission finally explodes on the highway. Replacing the car completely costs you $10,000. If you pull out extra cash, you mathematically damage the compounding engine, risking total bankruptcy by 70. Your friends, the ones you ghosted in your 20s, are now in their late 30s and entering their peak earning years. You, conversely, have 168 hours of free time a week and absolutely no money to spend on any of it. You are sitting on a park bench at 11 in the morning on a Thursday, eating a packed sandwich, realizing you didn't buy freedom at all. You bought a 55-year stretch of permanent unemployment on a poverty line stipend. The American dream you thought you were hacking was actually just a mirage. You realize that you cannot buy back the missed birthdays, the spontaneous road trips, or the careless joy of youth that you traded for numbers on a spreadsheet. But money isn't just a high score on a glowing screen. It's a tool meant to facilitate a life. If you sacrifice the entire journey just to rush to the destination, you might arrive only to find out the destination is an empty room. If you save exactly 50% of your income starting the day you graduate at 22, you can permanently walk away from the workforce at age 35. You buy back the absolute best years of your life. It is 50 unbroken years of pure freedom paid for in advance. But nobody talks about the invisible tax of those 13 years in the middle. The math of early retirement is elegantly simple. Surviving the psychology of it, however, is where the nightmare truly begins. To buy your freedom at